This is Sarah Mikesell with the Pig Site, and today we're online with Terry Moeller. He's a strategic account manager with the US Zoetis Pork team. Terry has worked with Zoetis for 15 years, focusing on sales. Thanks for being with us today, Terry.
Hey, thank you very much for the opportunity to talk.
Very good. And Zoetis has launched their Heritage Feeds Tomorrow campaign, and you're being spotlighted due to exactly that, your heritage. So tell me a little bit about your family's involvement in the pig industry.
Okay. Actually, my family's, I guess, history with the pork industry dates back all the way to the early 1900s. My great grandfather was a part of hog buying stations, I guess they called them back in the day, where he would round up from local neighbors their pigs and then send them off to harvest plants, packing plants that they called them back then, and they would ship them off to different areas of the United States, whether it be St. Louis, Missouri, Chicago, Illinois, Memphis, Tennessee. So that's how my family got started in the pork industry. And as that business grew, my father took it over in the early 80s. And that was when I was first experienced as a small child working in the yards, sorting pigs from that standpoint, and then got interested in the farrow to finish operation that we started when I was a freshman in high school, and moved along and started exhibiting using pigs as my 4-H project when I was growing up. And we showed pigs at the local and state and national level all through my high school years. So that was kind of how it all started. My wife and I, currently we have 3 sons that are very involved in the pork industry as well through the exhibition of livestock. Or I have my oldest son is now in the pork industry, working in sales, as well as my middle son still in college, going to get his animal science degree, and then my youngest son still in high school, which he is exhibiting swine like I started at a county, state, and national level. So I'd like to tell people that my family, as you know, my roots go deep in the pork industry, and that's honestly how my family or my parents were able to provide us with a meal on the table every day is by the income that they received out of the pork industry.
That's really cool. It's interesting that they started kind of in the industry and then moved into production, essentially, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So same kind of in my background is started in hog procurement before Zoetis, working for a major pork processing company, and then decided I wanted to move into the more of the production sales side of the business from that standpoint.
Terry, let's talk a little bit about you personally. How has the industry influenced your life?
Yeah, so I would say that the industry has been a huge influenced my life from a standpoint of my heritage growing up, and the heritage, like I said, the early 1900s, where my family began in the pork industry. And it's been a way of life and for a long time, and a lot of my wife and I's closest friends, and my sons, as far as in the family, some of our closest friends are people that are also involved in the pork industry from that standpoint. So it's personally been, I'm very passionate about the industry. I'm very proud to tell my story about the heritage of the pork industry. And I think you'll find that a lot of the leaders or very influential people that we have in the industry can tell you a very strong heritage story as well, and how they came up into was raised in the pork industry, and how the heritage part influenced their life. So I think that from a personal standpoint, I can tell you that the pork industry has been my way of life, honestly, not only from a career path, but personally as well. from a family standpoint.
I was just going to say it's a great environment, the agriculture industry and the pork industry, to raise a family. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And, it's funny, yeah, as we're talking here today, I think just getting off vacation, and my family, one of our vacations of the summer is to go to the Iowa State Fair and exhibit swine. So I work in the pork industry, and I feel so much passionate about the pork industry. I take vacation to spend more time in pork, exhibiting swine. So I think that would be a pure example of from that. I always tell people we don't have a boat or a beach that we go to. We have a truck and trailer with 5 pigs that we take to a show.
That's great. That's awesome. I'm in a similar situation. Those were the kind of vacations that we took when I was growing up as well. So I certainly understand that. So, well, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your heritage in the swine industry, Terry.
Yeah, no, thank you for asking me to be a part of the story.
Very good. This is Sarah Mikesell with the Pig Site.